Joined now by Democratic strategist Steve McMahon, as well as Republican strategist Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. Well, start with you.
Sure.
We're going to talk a little more about Trump today, but I got to talk about what he said. Is he off the rails again? Why would he say, take away her bodyguards and see what happens to her?
I don't know. It didn't look like to me he was reading off a teleprompter.
I know. So he's off the rails. I know. Is this what his brain does when he's thinking loosely?
I actually, you're not going to like this, but I
can say anything you want.
I do think it's absurd for politicians who are protected by arms every day because, let's face it, we live in an unsafe society at times, for them to say that it's okay for them to be protected, but that every individual doesn't have the right to do the same thing. And I think he was just pointing out hypocrisy. Does he want something to happen to Hillary Clinton? Hell no. Let me tell you something. We want her healthy, and we want to run against her.
Let's see what happens. Let's see. What do you mean by let's see what happens to her? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I want her to be healthy.
What did Trump mean by let's see what happens to her?
Look, his point is...
Will you throw that arm up in the air?
His point is this, which is she needs to be protected. It's obvious, and so do everyday Americans. They have the right to protect themselves, too, and she shouldn't.
Okay, you made the Trump argument, but a little more delightfully than Trump did.
Right,
you make it the way he said it. Because that audience wasn't exactly pro-Hillary safety crowd out there.
No,
they weren't worried about her well-being,
this wasn't new for him. And, you know, this is a guy who walks right up to the line and then steps over it on a routine basis, and frankly, he doesn't get called for it. And, you know, one of the things...
Do you not watch the show?
No, he's getting called for it. He's getting called for it right now, and I hope he gets called for it much more broadly, as he deserves to. And one of the things that I have to wonder is whether or not he's doing this deliberately so that he doesn't have to defend the birther stuff anymore or what he did today. He always comes up with the next outrageous thing in order to brush the last outrageous thing under the rug.
Let me ask you about this citizen's arrest he attempted 5 years ago, Barack Obama, for being a usurper, bringing somebody from Kenya. The whole absurd thing. I don't know if you heard at the beginning of the show, but he can't logically follow birtherism. It doesn't work logically. That a young white woman, to be blunt about it, from Kansas said, you know, I want my son to be president someday, so I'm going to marry an African guy who's kind of unstable guy, drinks a lot. I'm going to go over to Kenya and have the baby over there. But meanwhile, I'm going to have the newspapers report in Honolulu and the birth certificates and all say that I had the baby there, so that 35 years later, he'll be eligible for president. It's Looney Tune.
That's why he
Looney Tune.
That's why he closed the book on it.
Why did
and he said
5 years he sold this stuff.
I know. Listen,
not you.
I know you're upset.
He sold it for 5 years.
He closed the book on it. I'm happy about it because I don't want to talk about it anymore.
You know what? I've been pushed him to do it. I can't knock him for doing it. I've been pushed him to do it. I've been put Rudy Giuliani. I pushed him. I pushed him every time. Stop this nonsense.
It worked.
Why did the trouble with it? He didn't have any new information on which to change his mind.
What's happening in this campaign is that
he did it without information both ways.
He has put serious professionals around him, and he's listening to them. And I think he got advice to say, quit talking about this. You're actually doing effective outreach in the African-American community. Quit talking about this.
Is this about the fact that he faces a debate in 10 days?
Well, actually, I think he created some questions today that are...
Oh, you're not going to let him off the hook, are you?
No. I'm not going to let him off the hook.
She has some questions, too, but
by the way,
get to that later.
You know, he was supposed to have a news conference today. He parades around the hotel instead and shows everybody his brand new hotel. I mean, this guy is a marketer. He's a salesperson.
Are you guys going to attack him for not having press conferences, really?
He didn't answer a single question about what new evidence was provided to him that caused him to walk back.
You're a Clinton supporter.
Let's stop the ideology and go with you guys what you're good at, which is winning arguments politically. I think he lessened the chance that birtherism will be a big topic in the first debate by what he said today. If he hadn't done it, whoever the moderator, Lester or Martha Raddatz or anybody, Chris Wallace, any one of those people would most likely say, do you still believe this president's here illegally, or got here, snuck in the country, or assumed the office of the president illegally? That would have been a guaranteed question, I would argue. This way, they can only say, as you're suggesting, well, why'd you say that and then stop? Because then he can always say, look, I cleared that up.
As the Clintons always said, I've already talked about this. I've already given my answer.
What's that? MoveOn.org.
MoveOn.org. And I also think it just takes the heat out of it generally, which is, yeah, I mean, he's going to go through some painful moments with people like yourself saying, oh, but. He closed the book on it. It's over.
Which way is the momentum going right now in this campaign? Right now, this Friday going into the weekend.
Well, the momentum changes in these things pretty frequently.
Which way is it going right now?
I think it's Hillary's. She's back out on the campaign trail. She's starting
showing the numbers next Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, she's starting to make a positive case. You know, at the end of the day, this campaign is going to be decided.
Case. I haven't heard
this campaign is going to be decided by the candidate who offers the best and most compelling.
What's the one word? What's the one-word message of Hillary Clinton? The one word. I know what your guys changed.
Together. It's together.
Yeah, okay, great. We got it. You answered my question. Strong together.
Stronger together is two, but you'll ask for only one.
I know I did.
Better together.
You like stronger? You think together is better than change?
dividing.
No, not when 70% of the American people think we're on the wrong track. I'm for change.
Yeah,
Walls, change, attacking
It's a
immigrants,
nice try.
racism, nativism.
Anyway,
those are
thank
all
you,
the
Steve
words
McMahon.
for Donald Trump.
And Donald Trump is the one that makes charges against people. That's right.
Boston strong, right? Boston strong.
Boston
Anyway,
strong.
thank you, my schlap. Thank